In March 2021, phones buzzed and cameras clicked as whispers spread across royal newsrooms. Samantha Markle had allegedly revealed shocking DNA results about Meghan Markle. Prince Harry was reportedly in tears. The palace was silent, aides frozen, and social media exploded in minutes. But what did those results actually show, and why did they shake the royal family so deeply? Phones buzzed relentlessly, lights flickered across newsroom screens, and editors froze for a moment as alerts poured in. The claim was explosive. Samantha Markle had allegedly revealed shocking DNA results about Meghan Markle. Within minutes, the story spread across social media like wildfire, leaving millions of people around the world glued to their screens. Prince Harry was reportedly in tears, overwhelmed by what felt like a public attack on his family. The timing made the story even more dramatic. This came only days after Harry and Meghan's explosive Oprah interview in 2021, which had already stirred global attention. Suddenly, a private family matter seemed set to become a worldwide debate. The palace remained silent, a deliberate strategy rooted in centuries of royal protocol. No immediate response, no confirmation, no denial. Silence, as history has shown, can be as powerful as a statement, but it also fuels speculation. Major media outlets reacted cautiously. Tabloids went bold, shouting headlines about shocking revelations and family secrets exposed. Broadsheets and public broadcasters chose a more measured approach, using words like reported or alleged. DNA information is deeply personal, and releasing unverified claims can have legal consequences, especially when it involves a member of the royal family. Social media numbers skyrocketed. Hashtags, memes, and speculation posts spread globally within hours. Commentators debated endlessly. Was this a family feud or a story with real implications for the monarchy? Some experts noted that emotional reactions, such as Harry reportedly crying, may have been fueled as much by the public exposure as by the content of the alleged claim itself. A lesser-known fact: in the past, private family disputes, including disputes between Diana and her siblings, had similarly erupted into public scandals, showing a recurring pattern where personal issues collide with global scrutiny. By the end of the day, the story had created a perfect storm of media frenzy, family tension, and public curiosity. The palace's silence only amplified the drama, leaving millions to wonder. Was there any real proof behind the reported DNA claim, or was it all perception and rumor? But the story doesn't end there. This is where it turns. Late at night, newsrooms glowed under fluorescent lights. Editors whispered to each other, phones ringing non-stop, keyboards clicking as reporters tried to verify the explosive claim. The alleged DNA results weren't just a simple family feud. They were being framed as a shocking revelation that could redefine public perception of Meghan Markle. Behind the scenes, the story was far messier than anyone realized. Samantha Markle had publicly spoken about the DNA tests, but no official lab reports or verified documents were ever released. In simple terms, ancestry-style tests can indicate general family origins, but they cannot legally or scientifically prove personal identity or inheritance. Experts noted that relying on unverified claims can create huge emotional and legal risks, especially when royalty is involved. Sources close to the family claimed that Harry was devastated. Reports describe him retreating to private spaces, speaking only to his closest advisors. He reportedly felt that the world was judging not only Meghan but him as a husband and protector. The emotional toll was enormous. Analysts suggested that when private family matters become public, even a small claim can feel catastrophic under global scrutiny. A lesser-known fact: some leaked communications suggested that senior palace aides had convened emergency meetings the moment the story surfaced online. They were tasked with coordinating media strategy while ensuring legal precautions were taken, showing that the monarchy has long relied on careful, behind-the-scenes management of crises. Meanwhile, public speculation was growing. Social media threads exploded with theories. Some users interpreted the claim as a personal attack. Others treated it as an alleged confirmation of hidden truths. The lines between fact, rumor, and interpretation blurred quickly, creating tension between public perception and the private reality. Psychologists studying royal crises have described this as conflict amplification. In simple words, private disputes grow much larger when millions of people observe and comment. Each reaction, each headline, and each social media post added emotional weight, making it feel like a personal assault on Meghan and Harry, even if the DNA claim was unverified. By the end of the day, The tension was palpable. Editors debated whether to run strong headlines or wait for confirmation. Palace silence deepened curiosity. Everyone asked the same question behind closed doors. If there was no proof, why did the claim create such emotional chaos? And yet, no one suspected the truth about what was happening in the royal household, until it was too late. Newsrooms exploded with activity. Screens glowed, phones buzzed, and reporters whispered urgently as they scrambled to cover the alleged DNA revelation. Headlines screamed across the globe, "Shocking DNA claim rocks royal family, Prince Harry in tears over Meghan's secrets." Social media lit up in real time, hashtags trending in minutes. Millions of people debated, shared, and reacted, creating a storm that no royal communication team could ignore. The media's framing intensified the drama. Tabloids highlighted emotional reactions, painting Harry as heartbroken and Meghan as targeted. Broadsheets, more cautious, often added disclaimers, alleged or reported, careful not to assert facts without verification. Yet the public rarely distinguishes these nuances. The power of narrative, emphasizing tears, shock, and family tension, made the story feel undeniable even without proof. Historically, this was far from new. In 1995, during the Diana and Charles separation, similar media tactics amplified private disputes into global crises. Editors strategically highlighted emotional moments, which shaped public opinion for years. Now, in 2021, the alleged DNA claim followed a familiar pattern. Strong emotion plus sensational framing equals worldwide frenzy. The palace faced a dilemma. Any official statement risked legal exposure or lending credibility to unverified claims. Silence could appear as guilt, yet speaking too soon might escalate the narrative. Advisors reportedly monitored media coverage minute by minute, tracking audience sentiment and social chatter. Social media engagement alone reached millions, making it impossible for the royal family to ignore public reaction. Meanwhile, the story sparked debates online. Some users attacked Samantha Markle, labeling her actions opportunistic. Others criticized Meghan's family for public disputes. Analysts noted that even subtle differences in phrasing, like revealed versus claimed, could dramatically shift public perception. Every post, tweet, and headline added emotional pressure, amplifying Harry's distress. A lesser-known fact, palace insiders reportedly have long-standing relationships with certain media contacts. Historically, this network has been used to subtly influence coverage. In this case, however, the frenzy moved faster than any controlled narrative could keep pace, leaving even the palace's most trusted allies scrambling. The tension reached a peak. Millions of people were glued to every update. Headlines focused on emotions, while facts remained murky. The story had become more than a family dispute. It was now a media storm shaping global perceptions. But what no one knew was that the royal family had a hidden ally in the media. But for how long? And that's where the real trap is hidden. Inside palace walls, the tension was almost tangible. Quiet corridors echoed with footsteps, doors closed softly but firmly, and aides whispered behind closed doors. Reports suggested that the alleged DNA revelation had deepened existing rifts within the Markle and royal families. While the world saw Harry in tears and Meghan under fire, what was happening behind those doors was far more complicated. Family members reacted in different ways. Some sided with Samantha, arguing that the public had a right to know the truth. Others rushed to defend Meghan, insisting that private family matters should never be dragged into headlines. Harry reportedly felt caught in the middle, torn between loyalty to his wife and pressure from extended family. Emotional strain compounded daily, with long, tense pauses in conversations and messages. Historical patterns emerged. Similar family divides had rocked the monarchy in the past. Princess Diana's strained relationship with her siblings and her public separation from Prince Charles had created decades-long tensions, amplified by the press. Experts noted that royal families, bound by duty and tradition, often face the same dilemma: how to balance privacy with public expectation. A lesser-known fact revealed in leaked communications. One family member allegedly suggested making a public statement to discredit Samantha. Another warned that doing so could backfire and intensify the media storm. These conflicting opinions, combined with global scrutiny, created a delicate balancing act where each decision carried high stakes. The emotional toll was evident. Harry's reportedly tearful responses were interpreted by some as weakness, by others as humanity. Meghan faced her own pressures, defending herself against family claims while also navigating global criticism. Private conversations became strategic negotiations, sometimes heated, with advisors mediating disputes and drafting careful statements. Meanwhile, tension between Harry and his extended family mirrored larger patterns. Past royal disagreements had shown that when emotions collide with public scrutiny, small disagreements can escalate into crises that shape public perception for years. Experts describe this as family stress magnified by media exposure. In simple words, what might have been private drama felt like a global disaster. By the end of the week, the alleged DNA revelation had done more than make headlines. It had tested loyalties, exposed fractures, and reshaped relationships within the family. Decisions made in quiet rooms, away from cameras, would determine the long-term consequences for both Harry and Meghan. But was the scandal truly over? Or was the family about to face an even bigger revelation? The palace corridors were silent, but the tension was thick. Advisors huddled in conference rooms, phones muted, laptops open, as legal teams carefully reviewed the implications of Samantha Markle's alleged DNA claims. For the royal family, this was no ordinary scandal. It was a potential legal minefield. Unauthorized disclosure of personal genetic information could violate privacy laws in both the UK and the US, putting the family at risk of lawsuits or official complaints. Big reveal: despite the headlines, no verified DNA report was ever publicly confirmed. Analysts explained that the claims likely stemmed from ancestry-style tests, which can suggest broad family origins but cannot legally prove parentage or inheritance. In simple words, the shocking results that dominated global headlines were not documented in any official scientific or legal record. Even without verified proof, the public's reaction was enormous. Social media lit up with outrage, support, and debate. Millions of viewers shared emotional posts about Harry and Meghan, while critics questioned the couple's family ties. The story fueled existing divides, both online and offline, and reinforced the narrative of a royal family in crisis. Legal experts pointed out a lesser-known fact: the monarchy has a long history of using discreet legal maneuvers to manage disputes, often avoiding public court cases. In past controversies, letters and private warnings have been sent to potential whistleblowers, and strict defamation laws have been quietly enforced to protect family members' reputations. The goal is always the same: preserve privacy, prevent legal precedent, and maintain public image. The royal PR machine swung into action. Advisors monitored media coverage, social trends, and public sentiment constantly. Every tweet, post, and news article was analyzed to determine potential risks. Silence, historically a protective strategy, had to be carefully balanced against the perception that the family was ignoring or dismissing the scandal. One wrong move could amplify the very headlines they wanted to contain. Emotionally, the alleged DNA claim hit hard. Reports indicated that Harry felt an intense combination of frustration and heartbreak. He was reportedly torn between confronting family members, protecting Meghan's reputation, and managing public perception, all under the scrutiny of millions worldwide. Meghan faced similar pressures, navigating personal betrayal and media attacks simultaneously. The global conversation sparked questions about privacy, loyalty, and the role of the monarchy in modern life. Historians noted that few royal scandals had blended legal, emotional, and media pressure with such intensity. Each misstep could impact public opinion for years to come. By the end of the legal review, the palace had opted for a careful strategy: continue monitoring the story, maintain silence publicly, and take action only if a verified claim emerged. This approach reflected centuries of royal precedent, but also revealed the evolving challenges the monarchy faces in the age of instant media. But was this the royal family's worst crisis, or was something bigger about to unfold? The tension that had gripped the royal family for weeks finally reached its peak. Newsrooms were silent for a moment, as if holding their collective breath, while social media buzzed with non-stop updates. Millions of people followed every detail of the alleged DNA revelation, reacting with shock, sympathy, and anger. But behind palace walls, the real reckoning was only beginning. Legal teams and advisors worked in close coordination. Reports indicate that meetings were held in quiet offices where decisions about statements, potential lawsuits, and media strategies were hashed out minute by minute. Every word was scrutinized, every possible scenario considered. The royal family had to navigate a delicate balance: protect their private lives while maintaining their public image, all without confirming or denying unverified claims. Emotionally, the strain on Harry and Meghan was immense. Sources reported that Harry's tearful reactions were genuine, reflecting not only concern for his wife, but also frustration at the relentless public and family scrutiny. Meghan, meanwhile, reportedly felt the weight of having her private life dissected worldwide. Their emotional turmoil became a spectacle in its own right, amplified by every headline, tweet, and commentary. A lesser-known fact: the palace has historically relied on private media allies to manage complex stories. These relationships allow subtle influence over coverage, steering narratives without direct statements. In this case, however, the story spread faster than any controlled communication could contain, leaving even trusted contacts struggling to keep pace. The alleged DNA claim, despite lacking official verification, had reshaped public perception. Millions of people worldwide believed the story, forming opinions that often ignored disclaimers like alleged or reported. Perception had overtaken proof, and in the court of public opinion, that perception carried immense weight. Over the following weeks, the media storm slowly began to calm. Without verifiable evidence, the explosive nature of the story lost momentum. Attention shifted to other royal news, new events, and global headlines. Yet the emotional and reputational impact lingered. The monarchy had weathered another storm, but lessons had been learned. Silence could protect legally, but it could never fully shield from public speculation. Family dynamics shifted subtly in private. Advisors noted that trust had been strained, alliances quietly reassessed, and internal communication improved to prevent similar crises. The experience also reinforced the importance of long-term planning, careful wording in statements, and the need for media literacy among the public. By the end, the royal family emerged without a legal defeat, but with a changed relationship with the public and media. The alleged DNA claim was not confirmed, yet it had left a lasting imprint on how Harry, Meghan, and the broader family navigated privacy, reputation, and scrutiny in a world obsessed with instant revelation. But what came next shocked even the most loyal supporters of the crown. The alleged DNA revelation may have faded from headlines, but its effects lingered long after the media frenzy ended. Millions of people had witnessed emotional breakdowns, public speculation, and private family tension. No verified proof ever surfaced, yet public perception had already been shaped, and perception often feels as real as fact. The scandal highlighted how quickly private family disputes can become global events. It revealed the power of media framing, the risks of unverified claims, and the emotional toll of living under constant scrutiny. For Harry and Meghan, it was a reminder that even silence, though protective legally, could amplify drama in the court of public opinion. A lesser-known fact: palace communications teams now reportedly analyze social media patterns in real time, ensuring that stories like this are monitored and managed more strategically than ever. The monarchy had adapted, learning to navigate both emotional crises and media storms without escalating legal risks unnecessarily. In the end, the story wasn't truly about DNA. It was about trust, loyalty, family tension, and the global appetite for royal secrets. Emotional narratives often travel faster than evidence, and even the most discreet families can be caught off guard. What do you think? Was this scandal a turning point for the monarchy, or just the beginning of a new era where public perception shapes royal history? Do you think the royal family will ever fully recover from this scandal? What would have happened if the Queen had made a different decision? Should the royal family change their approach to secrecy? If you want more royal secrets, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and stay updated on the latest exposé.